So today, why do we listen to those who are thieves, who would steal our morality and destroy our society? Why would we listen to them? Who's the true voice we should be listening to? Um, Look, I've said this many times. I'm not an overly religious guy, but I am a man of great faith. And this weekend, I wouldn't say it was put to the test, but I'm very thankful to God. This morning, my mom had knee replacement surgery. She's 87 years old almost, and apparently it went well. I haven't seen her yet. I haven't talked to her yet, but my dad did, and I'll probably talk to her after dinner tonight. So a lot of prayers this weekend and over the last week. And so I was thinking about that, and then this morning I was thinking about the gospel from yesterday. And it was from John verse 10. And then the more I thought about it, the more I felt like it was a great analogy and a great lesson for us and everything that we've been talking about over the years. So John 10 begins, quote, "Very truly, I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep." All right, now I'm going to de-religicize this and talk about the Constitution. To me, the gate is the Constitution and the founding principles of this country. If you want, and I believe, and I'll even put a little religion in, I believe that all that was divinely inspired. I really do. I do not believe that our founding fathers could have won that Revolutionary War, could have come up with such a perfect, or the most perfect yet known to man, ideal for a form of government without some kind of divine inspiration. I believe America is the will of God. I do. And I believe, if we make the analogy, that where Jesus says he is the gate to heaven, although something, all those must cometh through me or whatever, the Constitution is the way for Americans. You want to be a real American, a true American, you hold to the principles of the Constitution, the plain text in the four corners of that document, and the founding principles of this nation. Anybody else that tries to tell you that there's a different way to go, they are a thief. They're trying to rob something of you, not necessarily your property, but maybe your morality, maybe your children, maybe your rights, certainly your money. They want your money to pay their insiders. So let's go back to John a little bit more. He says, "The sheep follow the good shepherd who enters through the gate because they know his voice. They're familiar with his voice and they will follow him. But they will and should never follow a stranger. In fact, they should run away from him because they do not recognize that stranger's voice." These sick people, educators, in the media, political supremacists, and others who are pushing this nonsense on us, they're the thieves. They're the ones who have entered by not through the gate. They have climbed over, and their motives are to deceive you, to steal from you, to kill, to destroy morality. If you follow, in Jesus's words, if they come through his gate, the gate of Jesus, you may have everlasting life to the full. But in our analogy, if you come through the Constitution and you respect freedom, that's our center's name, freedom and prosperity, you will live a more prosperous life if your government allows you to do that and if you withhold to that. The hired hand, which most of these people are, most of these political supremacists who are pushing these immoral, sick concepts upon our children, The sheep should never follow them, but yet we do. Many of us do, and yet we let our children follow them. Why? Why would we follow a voice that we do not know, that's brand new on the scene? We know it's not true. You know it's trying to deceive you for some other purpose. So why do we follow it? The other thing about these hired hands, now these are hired hands. They might be hired with money. They might be hired because they're hooked on an agenda. But either way, they're hired hands. They're not the true voice of this country. They are not. And you know it, and I know it, and we've got to keep saying it. John 10, line 12 says, the hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. These political supremacists, these sick people who are trying to influence our kids will run away if we put the pressure on them. It's time for us to be the wolf. It's time for us to push back and to attack back. And I promise you they'll run away.